Well, good afternoon. Thanks for checking in with your noon weather update. This is a live weather update talking about the storms that are not only happening out there right now, but of course, the stormy weather that's going to continue to be with us for the rest of the day. Now, the heavier rain and the storms that we've already seen so far today are going to continue to lift their way northward. And then back behind it, we've got a lot of unstable air that's going to continue to take shape around town. And that's going to move in ahead of our main storm system. And so, of course, we're going to continue to dive into those details coming up here in just a few minutes. Good afternoon, Denise. Sure hope you're having a great day. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. I know we've got some events going on downtown. We've got the Shamrock Festival. I've already been talking to the organizers there. They've had to postpone some of the races and kind of shelter folks inside buildings because we've had thunderstorms rolling on through. Again, this kind of shifted a little bit further east than what we were even talking about this morning. Now, does this mitigate any of our afternoon severe weather threat? And I think the answer is it could be, or it could, but the main event's still coming on through, and that's going to be with us as we get closer to sundown here tonight. So we'll keep you posted on how this all plays out as we head through the rest of the day today. All right, let's go ahead and take you to the big picture and show you what's going on. Again, this is the Storm Prediction Center's forecast. The area in purple continues to be the area that will see extreme weather. A tornado outbreak is expected to take place from Birmingham, near Montgomery, Jackson, Tupelo, Mississippi. That is looking likely. The red shaded area is also going to be seeing some isolated tornadoes, but not to mention we are going to see, elevated winds. And the Storm Prediction Center has actually put us back into that red area, more of East Tennessee, which I'll highlight here in a second, due to the fact that we could see winds in excess of 75 miles per hour with some of these storms. So realize that a severe thunderstorm warning is for 58 miles per hour or greater, or 1 inch in diameter hail or greater. That is it. But we have a flood and flash flood risk. We've got tornadoes possible. We've got severe weather and flash flooding. So all of it is on the table. And with the heavier showers that we've already seen here today, that's kind of insult to injury. But notice back to our south, over Decatur, Birmingham, near Chattanooga now, we've got some clearing. Now, I don't think we're going to have abundant sunshine, but we're going to get rid of the rain. Atmosphere is going to start to try to recover. That's going to bring unstable air to the area because very warm, unstable air resides just to our southwest across parts of Alabama. So this is all going to be lifting its way northward. We've already got tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings down to our south and southwest across parts of Mississippi. And as it progresses into Alabama, we're going to get into the daytime heating and the peak heating of the day, and that's going to be the problem further to our south. Now, if you happen to have travel plans around the state of Tennessee, no severe weather as of right now. No severe weather here in East Tennessee either. But the rain showers continue to lift their way from south to north. Still some pretty good solid claps of thunder out there. We've had some solid thunderstorms, and I think that's a sign of a very angry and very readily available atmosphere that we're going to have to contend with and deal with here for the rest of the day today. All right, so don't forget to scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. If you're new to the platform, joining me on social media, the East Tennessee Weather app will give you live weather alerts from the National Weather Service, watches and warnings. You're going to get lightning data when lightning is within 15 miles of your location. You'll be able to track the storms with an amazing interactive radar that gives you past, current, and future radar, really helping you to plan your day. And that's going to come really in handy during those afternoon thunderstorms in the summertime. But again, you'll want to track that throughout the rest of the day today as well. And I'm broadcasting live front and center on top of the East Tennessee Weather app. So if you open up your app, you should see me broadcasting live right there. So that's a great tool there. If for some reason you're not, go scroll down and click on the YouTube button. That will take you to YouTube. Click on the live part of YouTube, and then you'll be able to watch the broadcast there as well. Also available on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and YouTube. So if you want to put it up on the big screens in your house, you can do that so you can have a better visuals of what's going on. All right, so no severe weather threat out there right now, but here's the latest. I posted this on social media here just a little bit ago, but the Storm Prediction Center has expanded that moderate risk. That's a level 4 risk when we're talking about the risk levels from the Storm Prediction Center. But the reason they did that was for these 75 mile per hour wind gusts that we could see with some of these storms. But we also have a lot of wind shear. So winds changing speed and direction with height, and that's going to allow for these storms to rotate as we get into the evening hours. And we're still going to have to watch out for the threat for some isolated strong to severe storms out ahead of the cold front. They would be individual supercells. We'll see how that all plays out. More likely to our south and west as they come up into Tennessee from Alabama and Georgia. We'll see what they do depending on how the atmosphere recovers from what we've seen so far this morning. So again, that's the greatest risk. And just realize if you live south of Interstate 40, you have the greatest threat for severe weather, tornadoes, hail, damaging winds, and flooding and flash flooding. That is all on the table. Lesser risk across the Tri-Cities area, Upper East Tennessee, some say from Morristown, Tazewell to Tri-Cities, but everybody is under a threat here for the evening and through the early overnight hours as well. You're welcome very much, Carrie. She says, Mike, thanks for the update. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this as well because we do have a significant tornado risk, a strong. So what that is saying is that some of these storms that if they were to produce a tornado, now we're not saying there's no guarantee that that's going to happen, but if we were to see a tornado being produced by a supercell thunderstorm or even by the line of storms coming on through tonight, they have a lot more potential of becoming a stronger tornado than we typically see in East Tennessee. And so that's why the Storm Prediction Center is really highlighting East Tennessee as a strong tornado risk. We also have a wind outlook. And again, this correlates with the moderate risk that the Storm Prediction Center has expanded northward. But that area in purple is a 45% probability that you could see damaging wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater within 25 miles of any given point in that area. So think about that. 25 miles of any given point in that area shaded in purple, you have a probability of 45% or greater of seeing winds of 75 miles per hour out of some of these storms. So again, prepare for damaging wind gusts, prepare for power outages. That is likely going to happen, and we're going to get a slew of power outages likely to happen across all of East Tennessee. So time now to make sure everything's charged. You know, we don't have any severe weather out there right now, so if you want to go to lunch, if you want to just take a break, if you need to go out and do some shopping, I know we've got soccer tournaments in town. We've got, of course, the Shamrock Festival in downtown as well. And it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. A lot of folks are trying to get out and enjoy that. You'll be able to enjoy the rest of the afternoon. I don't think we're going to have much in the way of severe weather from now. But until about 2 to 4, we'll have to start to watch and see what the atmosphere is doing. And then from 4 to 7, we're going to start to track the main line, which I'll highlight in your latest Futurecast model coming up in just a second. So we got that significant wind outlook as well, and the hail outlook that we could see 1-inch in diameter hail about the general idea. I don't think it's going to be the biggest hailstorm. Now we could get a lot of it, but I don't think that's the main threat. I think the damaging wind is definitely the main threat. Now, I have changed this graphic from what we talked about this morning as well. The timing is still between about 7 and 2 o'clock in the morning, give or take or so. We'll still have to watch for the threat for an isolated supercell thunderstorm to come up out of Alabama, so we'll have to watch out for that. That would likely be a little bit later in the day, right along the leading edge of the frontal boundary, but they would be discrete cells, not part of the main line. So we still have to watch out for that. So I have bumped up the wind to extreme. And due to the fact that the Storm Prediction Center has issued that, and again, the most extreme wind is going to be south of Interstate 40, but 60-plus mile-per-hour winds up to 75-mile-per-hour winds across the Southern Valley associated with the storms. Those would be severe thunderstorm winds. Still have tornadoes in the medium category, so it is still possible. It's still on the table. I've just got the hail at 1-inch diameter possible, but I'm going to keep that on the lower end because I don't think that's the major player. And I also bumped up localized flooding and flash flooding to the high category, only due to the fact that we've already seen some decent or heavy rainfall. Some areas across parts of Monroe County, McMinn County saw the showers and thunderstorms yesterday, saw them again this morning. So now the ground is really saturated. And so any more storms that do fire up here will be insult to injury. And of course, we're going to see incredible amounts of storms heading our way as well. So we're going to keep you posted on how that all plays out. As we progress through time, these storms will continue to fire up through the evening hours. So that's really what we're going to continue to watch as we get through the evening hours. And I want you to stay weather alert and make sure that you have a way to receive weather information. Of course, like I said, the best tool is going to be the East Tennessee Weather app. I'm trying to do a couple things in the background here, but that's really going to be the story. And if you check out that latest interactive radar, it gives you past, current, and future radar of 2 hours. So it really gives you a great idea on how it is all playing out over time. All right. So, all right, let's move right along to the Futurecast. This is what you want to see here. Here's your Futurecast. We pick up our timeline at noon. Again, this is pretty much what's going on out there right now. If I take you to the radar, before we go through the Futurecast, let me expand the view to East Tennessee, and you'll see how it's really picking up on what's going on out there right now, which gives us a great idea of how this is all going to play out over time. So there's our radar. When we loop that over the last hour, You get an idea. We've already had 2 severe thunderstorm warnings today, pea-sized hail and some stronger wind gusts. So this is all sliding its way north and northeast. So it's kind of progressing northward, but the general idea is those upper level winds are also to the north and northeast. All right, let's go back to the Futurecast now and show you the latest guidance. Now, what I'm going to show you is, I believe this would be, okay, so this is going to be the HRRR. This is the high resolution 1 kilometer model forecast. So it's picking up on exactly what we're seeing out there right now. So let's go through time. And we go from noon to 3, and you can see how this all lifts its way northward. That's why I think we're going to be great. You're going to be fine to go out to lunch. You're going to be fine to run some errands. You're going to be fine to do whatever you want. Enjoy some of the outdoor activities that we have going on around town. And if you are or were planning on going down to the Shamrock Festival, I think you'll be able to do it here as we get into the afternoon. It's going to be soggy on World's Fair Park for sure, but that lifts its way northward. Now, if we get some sunshine through the rest of the day today, that's going to destabilize the atmosphere. We've got that wind shear. We've got some unstable air. So let's take you all the way to 7 o'clock. And this is the HRRR. Again, has a good handle on what could be happening right around 7. So I said after about sundown. So I know we're getting into the sundown hour. There's 8 o'clock. So I'm just going to go hour by hour here. Let's go to 9 o'clock here. And again, with any of these storms, we could get rotating thunderstorms. We're going to get some damaging wind gusts, and that's where the strongest winds are going to be across the Southern Valley, south of Interstate 40. But one thing you'll notice as well, I've superimposed the wind shear or the spin in the atmosphere. It's lagging a little bit behind, but that green area that you see on the screen there, just to the northwest, right in this area, is the rotation. So we still have that rotation in the atmosphere all the way through about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then after 2 o'clock in the morning, that's going to continue to lift its way on out of here. Rainfall amounts with this are going to be incredible. We could see anywhere from 2 to 3, generally speaking, but some of the storms could, some areas could pick up upwards of 3 to 4 inches when all is said and done. So that is why the National Weather Service has continued the flood watch. So no changes on this. This runs until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. It includes most of East Tennessee, and we've already got some flood warnings down by Chattanooga. We've got the Sequatchie area. In Sequatchie, this runs until 8 o'clock Sunday morning. You come down to Marion County. That also runs until Tuesday morning, actually, for part of that river. Down towards the Chattanooga area, we've got a flood warning in effect until Tuesday morning. That's on the eastern side of the downtown Chattanooga area, and also in Hamilton County until 6 o'clock Monday morning. So flood warnings are going to continue. The rivers are going to gradually rise as all this water comes downstream. And I would imagine that we probably have some flash flood warnings before this entire event is over. A high wind warning in effect until 2 o'clock this morning or tomorrow morning. It winds out of the south 25 to 40 miles per hour, gusts up to 80 miles per hour. And so the wind across the mountains are going to be incredible. We have a wind advisory for the rest of East Tennessee. This also runs until about 1 o'clock in the morning. As soon as the storms pass, the advisories will begin to die down. And again, those would be non-thunderstorm winds. That's just general wind in the atmosphere thanks to this big storm that's moving on in. We also have a red flag warning for the mountains of East Tennessee. And so a red flag warning is due to elevated fire danger. So we're going to have a high fire danger in the mountains of East Tennessee. So that's why the National Weather Service has issued that as well. It's the noon hour. I want to go ahead and pass along the fact that we are going to see improving conditions and cooler temperatures, more seasonable weather as we get into our Sunday and Monday. We're warming right back up Tuesday and Wednesday as another cold front heads our way. We'll talk more about that cold front once we get past this one. And that's also going to drop our temperatures by next Thursday, closer to those seasonal averages. All right, let's come back and say hi to everybody. Michaela says hello. Okay, so Michaela, if you scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you'll be able to download the app. But, of course, if you're on your phone, you won't be able to do that. So let me throw all the platforms that East Tennessee Weather is on. I'm going to throw this in the chat. I will also throw the links into the chat here right now. So those are all the platforms that East Tennessee Weather is on. That's also the links to download for Android and iPhone. So if you have an Android or iPhone, you can download the links there. And of course, that is also the link to join me and subscribe to YouTube. Go smash and subscribe to that YouTube button. It really helps. Now, as I mentioned, I've also said I don't have links for it there, but Roku TV and Amazon Fire are great resources to be able to put East Tennessee Weather up on in your business or in your homes if you want to watch on the big screen and not on a tablet or a cell phone, which sometimes it's hard to see things on those small cell phones. So put East Tennessee Weather up on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, or YouTube on the big screens. Let's see. Yeah, we're working on that in the background. Okay, so Amazon Fire is not working right now. We are working on that right now in the background. So hopefully that will get up and running before the event actually moves its way on through. Denise, I do appreciate that for sure. What's up, Daniel? How are you, my friend? Watching from Atlanta, Georgia, he says. All right, what about I'm about to order some merchandise for you. Oh, thanks. All right, let's see what else we got. You're welcome, Brenda. You're welcome. This weather is going to be intense. It's, try not to be too scared about it. Just understand that you need to have a way to receive weather information. The East Tennessee Weather app does that. Make sure if you have NOAA weather radios, they're going to go off here as we get into the evening hours. Just make sure that everything's charged up. You have plenty of time now because I really am not anticipating anything crazy. There is a chance for a supercell thunderstorm or two as we get into the late afternoon before the main cold front comes through. So I'll be highlighting that as we get into the afternoon. If I need to break in and do some live severe weather coverage, when you download the East Tennessee Weather app, again, allow push notifications and GPS location services. Turn those on because I'll send a push alert letting everybody know that we are live doing the severe weather coverage, which I did just before the noon hour as well. All right. So that's about all we got going on right now. No severe weather out there as of right now. The roads are wet. The rain is going to start to fade away, pushing its way from south to north as we progress through the day. So I'll take you back to the radar. The interactive radar on the East Tennessee Weather app, or even online at easttnweather.com will really help you out as well. So hopefully you have a chance to check those out. Download the app. Download the apps for Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and get on YouTube. Go smash and subscribe that. I will keep you posted on how things play out for the rest of the afternoon. We'll do another live weather update. If I don't need to do it before 6 o'clock, tune in for 6 o'clock, set your alarms, or, allow those notifications because I'll send an alert out saying we're getting ready to do a live broadcast. And then again, we're going to be doing live severe weather coverage into the evening and through the overnight hours. And so that's where you need to stay on top of the weather situation. Always a good idea this time of year as well. Obviously, it's springtime. This is an incredibly strong storm. I know a lot of kids get a little nervous. Even adults get nervous about this. I don't want you to be nervous about it, okay? And don't concentrate on the tornadoes solely because that's not the major player. We're going to have some nasty wind. And so that we're going to get a lot of power outages and a lot of down trees before the night is over. So secure anything that you have loose outside because that's going to get toppled and blown away. Make sure that you have a safe place to stay. I've already had a lot of folks reaching out to me saying that they're going to go to Walmart's or the Walmart or a hotel or anything like that because they don't live in a good, safe environment. If you're joining us from a campground, a lot of campgrounds, it's spring break. Make sure that you know in and around your area. There's plenty of places in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and Wares Valley and Townsend and, of course, other campgrounds across all of East Tennessee. Find a sturdy building that you know you could go to. The other side of the story, I will say this, though. Just realize that if a tornado or a severe thunderstorm warning gets issued for your area, but more importantly a tornado, these storms are going to be racing to the northeast anywhere from about 60 miles per hour or so. So think about driving 60 miles an hour down the interstate. It doesn't take you very long to get from Cedar Bluff all the way to West Hills exit, going 60 miles per hour. That's how fast the storms are going to be blowing. So when we do live severe weather coverage tonight, I want you to pay attention to that. Because I could literally talk about where the storm is exactly, but it's not really going to be there anymore because it's moving so fast. And the radar scans are every 2 to 5 minutes. Realize that as well. So as we get into live severe weather coverage, I'm really going to be highlighting folks downstream. What's potentially going to be heading your way. Of course, we'll concentrate on the rotation if there is rotation or any of the wind that's going to be associated with it, but we really are going to have to warn people way out ahead of the storm, and I would imagine that these warnings are going to be very long when the National Weather Service issues them. The East Tennessee Weather app will give you all that information. Make sure that as you head off to bed tonight, if you're going to head off early, maybe you work in the middle of the night or early tomorrow morning, have a way to receive information and something to wake you up in the middle of the night. So if you do download the East Tennessee Weather app and allow push notifications, when you go to bed tonight, do not put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Because if you put it on Do Not Disturb, you're not going to get the alert. So there's a little side note and a little tip there for you as we head off to bed. Of course, we'll talk more about that as we get into the 6 o'clock hour and the evening hours. Just make sure that you are on top of the weather, which, of course, you're joining me right now. So, of course, you are on top of the forecast. Don't forget also to the East Tennessee Weather app, you can set up locations for other locations around East Tennessee. So if you're joining me from out of town, you want to keep an eye on your house. Maybe you don't have cameras around your house. You can actually put your address into the house, or anybody that has family members, loved ones across the country. You can put in their address, or their location, their city, to more specifically give you updates on how the weather is playing out there. Severe weather outbreak is happening here across the southeastern U.S. and the mid-south. Big tornado outbreak across parts of Mississippi and Alabama. It is not going to be a good situation. Here in East Tennessee, can't rule out an isolated tornado. It's not the major player. The major player is definitely going to be the damaging winds. And realize down across the Southern Valley, some of those winds from thunderstorms could be exceeding upwards of 75 miles per hour. The storm is going to be racing, and we've got a lot of energy. All right, have a great day. Get out, run some errands, charge your tablets and your cell phones and all your electronics to be prepared for this evening and overnight tonight. Enjoy the rest of your day. I think the Witcher is going to go grab some lunch right now, but we'll be back, and join me on social media throughout the day as well. Have a great day.